Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Welcome back to Challenger Spectates. Actually haven't done Challenger Spectates in quite some time. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content. Again, all that you've been watching over the last week and a bit more days have actually been bulk recorded. So hopefully it was enjoyable for you. Obviously, bulk recording has happened because of the puppy. Today, though, we are watching MagiFelix, a Challenger player we have watched many a time. He is the absolute mad lad that held 5 Challenger accounts in Challenger on EU West at the same time. And I think all of them were actually like in the top 10 or top 20 of Challenger. So, yeah. He's playing SYNDRA. And I wanted to see how, SYNDRA is new, her rework. And it seems like it's going pretty well for SYNDRA. But this is not the best matchup. It's a high-range Xerath who can just stay way far back versus a SYNDRA who hasn't got the highest range in the world. Like, yeah, her stun's not bad, but you still have to be pretty close to make it hit, and then you need to be close to do the follow-up damage. So I want to see how she does well, in essence. Runes, etc. is first strike, and that, by the way, of the rework, that is where SYNDRA has landed. If you're wondering, like, what is the rune? Yeah, it's first strike. Is because she has become an absolute monster when it comes to burst. Eventually, she's a scaling mage. You could weirdly think of her as a Vigard nowadays, that when she gets up to a certain amount of stacks and she gets all the percentages and all that stuff and the extra true damage on her spells and the execute in her ultimate, she is really strong. So going first strike, it really goes well with the newer SYNDRA. So she's got first strike, perfect timing, Futures Market even, which again is a very aggressive thing to go, even on SYNDRA, who's not exactly early game. Cosmic Insight, and then Transcendence, Mana Flow Band, Attack Speed, Ability Power, Magic Resist. So those are the runes, if at all you've been wondering. And she's running Ghost Flash, very obviously normal combo now. I would personally expect, and not bad damage obviously by Xerath. She does get her stacks there as well. I would potentially expect some nerfs or some change, by the way, to Ghost in the near future, because everybody's taking Ghost. Like, people are taking Ghost over Ignite. People are taking Ghost instead of, hell, even Flash. On champions that Flash is very good on, they're taking Ghost. So, Ghost is very good. So far, this lane phase is kind of going how I'd expect it to go. Heavy harass, heavy poke by a Xerath. The range advantage, obviously, is big. And it's showing. The difference, though, is the Xerath has been so hyper-fixated on poking, he's actually gone out of mana. Now, he is running teleport, so he can go back if he wanted to. And he's obviously got the mana regen occasionally in his passive. But does SYNDRA have to be careful of dying? With that mana that a Xerath hasn't got, he probably isn't absolutely scared of dying right now. But he will probably want to go back. Top lane, Cassio goes down, trade by the junglers. Hecarim will have advantage in this fight if they were to continue it, because he's also got the Ghost. And MagiFelix still doesn't want to go back yet. Presumably, because of what's going on, he doesn't want to go back until the Xerath May wants to go back. But you can see the Xerath is just going to start auto-attacking now. Literally, I'm going to auto-attack fight you. Ooh! Oh, that was so nice! Again, watching Challenger play, man. Ooh! That reaction time of that Xerath was insane. So very nice. That was awesome. Literally flashed over the SYNDRA stun. That was cool. So SYNDRA will make her way back to lane. So start of lane is how I'd roughly expect it. I wouldn't expect the Xerath to kill a SYNDRA, by the way. But high harass, high poke, SYNDRA's going to have a hard time. That's exactly how I'd expect this to go. So this is good because we'll see obviously how MagiFelix progresses in this game. But as you can clearly tell, it's not a stomp from the beginning of the game. And yeah, that's true. Zyphus just said, someone asked the question to Caps, I believe it was recently, of someone who likes Xerath, was, hey, why don't you play Xerath? And his answer was, I don't like just sitting under a tower for 20 minutes and then being useful. Well, this Xerath isn't doing that. And I will say one thing gives away that this person doesn't want to do that is actually their setup. They're actually running Dark Harvest on Xerath. If you're running Dark Harvest, you're not a I'm going to sit under tower for 20 minutes type of player. If you're a Arcane Comet Xerath, you probably are. So that is worth knowing. But yeah, very, very good play by that Xerath. Obviously, most likely a Challenger player as well. So yes, Felix is one of, you know, some people say he's one of the gods of solo queue. That doesn't mean he can't get outplayed by other challenger players. That doesn't mean he's going to be flawless every game. I think sometimes that is a weird thing that I think video games in general, like if you're watching a Call of Duty pro, you expect them to be perfect all the time. But also it's the same with League of Legends. People expect pros or high rating players to never make mistakes. That just isn't possible. Outplay is going to happen, mistakes are going to happen, and that's kind of part and parcel of, well, being a human being. So yeah, so he does hit a nice combo there. Xerath has to be careful because Syndra is now level 6. Huzzy Cannon, so even a challenger Felix can even Huzzy Cannon. If he can do it, I can do it, and if I can do it, you can do it. That's the whole thing. People aren't robots. So again, I always like doing these challenge spectators, as you guys know, is because it does show the human aspect of the game. So much about the game is trying to say that, oh, you need to be perfect, and you don't. You really don't. I am far from a perfect player, and I've been, as you all know, oh dude, both these mid laner flash plays are insane. Okay, so Xerath nearly perfectly killed Syndra then, but obviously Felix still had flashed it perfectly right at the end, and then goes for the kill. So yeah, that's insane. Oof, yeah, both did a flash play on each other. Not bad at all. Oh, he TP'd back, so again, having that TP is always a nice advantage. The good thing, by the way, with Syndra taking Ghost, why would you want to take Ghost against a Xerath? Two things. One, gap closing. Having Ghost to actually get closer to do what you want to do is quite important. But secondly, it's a dumb way to use Ghost, but even dodging his ultimate when you're really speedy is quite useful too. So Hecarim, sorry, just did the classic Hecarim thing of one-shotting the opponent mid laner, because Hecarim is very balanced. Good job, Riot. Yeah, Hecarim isn't balanced. And he has, I think, already had a nerf, but it's not enough. So Xerath has now had his second death. And that's a really bad death by him, by the way, because there was a deficit in farm because he died and then was pushed into tower. And then he died again to Hecarim, so he hasn't even been able to catch back up to farm. And that's where obviously Snowball can begin, and a gap of strength is when you're denying somebody catch up. That could very easily be catch up if I say that too fast, but yeah. Felix looking for vision of the Rek'Sai, actually. Interesting. The red buff is spawning, so just wanted to make sure, I guess, you know, they're not trying to do that on spawn, because Hecarim is doing dragon. Always nice, obviously, just to cover off your team. Why not? Enemy team does seem to maybe know there's something going on. No stun angle. So farm-wise, obviously decent farm. It is a bit weird, I would say, to see a Cassiopeia top lane. Hey, Fozel. It's a little bit weird to see a Cassiopeia top. Bit of a cheese pick, you could say. And genuinely, I'd imagine it's probably not a top laner, or it's one of two things. If you ever see a Cassiopeia top, it's either not a top laner. Oh, Syndra Ghost into the stun, into the Q, into the damage. With enough damage, gets a shutdown. Wow, that's actually more damage than I thought. But she got the maximum amount, pretty much, of orbs that she can get at this time of the game to maximize her ultimate. But yeah, like, if you ever see a Cassiopeia top, it's either someone that's been auto-filled to top lane, probably a mid lane main, and I'll play Cassio because it's a bit of a cheesy pick against bruisers. I can be relatively safe. Or the complete opposite, it's someone that one-tricks Cassiopeia top. There basically is no other thing. It's someone that's auto-filled or someone that absolutely one-tricks it. Okay, that high-range stun is never bad. Oh, the last dodge. Did get his Dark Harvest proc, though, so he'll be sad he didn't get the kill, but, you know. It's also worth knowing, obviously, I know we're focusing on Syndra here, but just a bit of a tip to Xerath players. And it's something that, obviously, when I play a bit of Xerath, I think he's like my 4th most played or something this season. I used to play a bit more of him, to be fair, but I used to be quite hesitant and try to be calculated with my ults. Don't do that. The best way to play with Xerath ulti is just spam the living hell out of them, because you give them less time to react. And both of those instances you saw, Xerath 2 ultis nearly kills the Syndra in both times. only didn't die the first time because of flash. Ooh. And the second time, well, it was just a little bit of good movement by MagiFelix. Good stun. Doesn't want to do anything more. Give the kill to the Hecarim. Knows when to back away. That's also a very important tool in League of Legends. A lot of people say to me always like, how do you... What's a good tip for climbing? Die less is number one. And people go, how do you start with die less? Not go for things you don't need to. Like that is... Yeah, MagiFelix could have continued to try and kill the Aatrox, but that would have put themselves at risk of dying. Just help them with the stun, and okay, Hecarim, it's yours. Oh, really? So Thomas just looked at my profile. Apparently, he's my second most played champion this season. Is he? Surprising. Again, my KD on him usually is quite good, but I just don't think... Why I haven't been playing a lot of Xerath, I don't think he's great in solo queue right now, at least, personally. But I don't know. Thanks, Black Wero, dude. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, I don't want to give too much away because this video will be slotted in during the main account climb. But I don't think the audience will mind me saying it is nice that I will say yesterday's recording session. It was nice to finish a recording session happy. So that just gives you a bit of like what the content is going to be over the next couple days. Roam by MagiFelix. Hecarim is going to go down. Big shutdown to the Rex side. That's probably the person you don't want to. Was a bit weird positioning, I will say, by SYNDRA. I don't know why MagiFelix walked through the tower. I would have definitely stayed to cut off their exits, but with the flash and the ghost, he does manage to clean up. Xerath is on the way, by the way. I don't know if... Yeah, there's the ult. And really hard to hit a Callista, though, of all champions. Oh, you're engaging on that, Nautilus? Why are you doing that? Not sure, actually. Can they kill him? Oh? Oh, he did a good flash again. This guy's pretty good with his flashes, not gonna lie. Holy. Challenger players. I think Nautilus dodged it, duck dive, save the bush. Oh! Oh! He ignited him! He hooked him! Oh, he's gonna... Okay, he got a kill, which is not bad, but that whole delay that Nautilus just did, is it gonna... Oh, and then... Oh, no, then the combo! MagiFelix is gonna die! Oh, he just died! Challenger games, what the hell? Bearded Bard, 18 months tier 1, says, I'm at work, but came to drop this. Thank you so much, Bearded Bard. The 1.5 year sub club. Appreciate it, man. Well, that was messy. So again, that's the type of things that, you know, the enemy team played that well. They perfectly layered their CC, but trust me, MagiFelix won't be happy about that, clearly. It's you. He spawned, went straight to bot lane, didn't even farm in mid, and died. That's not good, clearly. So, again, if you're looking... You know, MagiFelix is a top challenge player. I think he's, like, top 5 right now. If you're looking at that and go, how can you use that for your own game? If you're trying to climb, and you're not a challenger player, and you always can get challenged, and you know you're a challenger, a challenger player might risk a bit more because they know they're already there. If you're in gold or plat, that's the type of play, or diamond, whatever, or any rating. If you're actively trying to climb to your peak, don't do that risky play because it will and can backfire. Stay a little bit more grounded in your play and you'll find a lot of the time you're more consistent. I will say it does depend what champion you're playing. If you're a Katarina main or a Master Yi main, play high risk. Oh, SYNDRA does do a nice Zonya there. Stay on the W. Ooh, does it get ulted? Is going to go down eventually. Ooh, good dodging, though. Dodged quite a lot. Unfortunately, Hecarim wasn't in the area to kind of clean that up. I think MagiFelix, by the way, and, you know, 3 deaths, by the way, in a row in a very close time without really getting much farm. He might have had, in the last 3 deaths, 10 to 15 minions. So this is where, like, just calming down your game helps a lot because you can kind of get into a death spree if you're not careful. And that's kind of what's happening to MagiFelix right now. Oh. Oh. Hecarim. So just to say, Hecarim perfectly timed his ultimate then. He was going to get hit by the Xerath stun. So he timed his ultimate because it's an unstoppable ulti after a certain point. He timed it while the stun happened, so then it wouldn't have mattered. Really, again, and that's the type of play that he did purposely. He purposely timed his ultimate during the stun. It's just smart play. Oh, Leona. Leona. So obviously, Syndra, even in the rework, nice. Again, reminding everybody, the way that the new Syndra works is she gains stacks. And when she gets a certain amount of stacks, she gets certain different bonuses. So the first bonus is when she gets 40 stacks, she gets 2 charges of a Q available. Then it's 60, and her W then does a portion of true damage. And then it's 80, then 100, and then the maximum one is 120 for her passive. Well, they got to be careful here, though. Bit of an odd Syndra, but does get the stun right at the end there and should get the kill. That was actually quite nice. So that fight ended up kind of okay. The enemy bot lane died for the Nautilus. That's not too bad. Nice stun into the return of damage. Look at this. Okay, so the damage of Syndra is actually not too bad. And then we'll get a kill with Cassio. Aatrox is back in the area. I swear he already ulted, but apparently not. What? I swear he was an ultimate then, was he not? Anyway, a tower's gone down. I think that was mid lane. Hecarim 2 levels are, by the way, advantage right now over the Rek'Sai. Already. And they do a vision of this, I'm guessing. Yeah, oh, that flash by Aatrox, though. Oof. Kara back. Thank you so much, dude, for the 6 months to Prime. Hopefully I didn't completely butcher your name. Massive appreciate for the support, though, my dude. Hecarim now finds a Leona. Oh, Nautilus hook. That looked weird. Hecarim changing his target to the Aatrox because he's a higher valuable target, but ultimately that costs the kill. Edge of Night, by the way, second item for Rek'Sai. Just stopping him engaging, or technically her engaging. Yeah, I will say, for a challenger game, this is a bit of a sloppy match. I will say that. It's definitely one of the sloppiest challenger games we've watched. Normally, challenger games are quite clean and concise, and everyone's got a million farm. They haven't farmed great in this game. It is worth saying for challenger players, you know, mid lane are both under 120 farm at 17 plus minutes. For challenger, that's quite low. But it's what I've always said when people have always asked me the question over the years, what's a good farm for 10 minutes? What's a good farm for 20 minutes? There isn't really an answer to that because it's completely situational on the game that you're in. A game like this, that it's not about just standing in your lane, farming for fun. It's about movement and being grouped fairly early, and that's just the nature of this particular match. The farm is naturally going to be low. Oh, okay, Syndra does use ulti just to make sure you get the kill. Again, it is always worth doing something like that, kinda, because Dragon's coming up. Having one less death, or having one less teammate for the enemy team, is always an advantage. Always. So, especially in, like, well, any stage of the game, to be honest. So, Syndra goes back and actually goes for Banshee second item, by the way. A little bit surprising. Hecarim going for the engage. Again, why go for the all-in? Because now you're completely unchallenged for Dragon. And, you know, when you get one pick, go for a second pick because you already have that number advantage. Aatrox is opting for split push. That's a TP, by the way, that we cannot see because replays are still bugged to this day. But Syndra actually stops him. Nice. So Syndra with stun stops the Aatrox teleport. And reminding everyone, if your teleport gets stopped, it still goes on cooldown. Syndra might chase this, but I don't think... Okay, maybe not anymore. They also will get a Cassio. Nautilus is in trouble. Cassio, though, on top of a Xerath. He does flash away. He has dot damage on him, but then he has a Seraphine to W probably as well, so he'll be fine. Dragon has been taken by the Hecarim. Yeah, dude, this is such a fiesta match. Just checking there's no Aatrox in that bush. Always smart to do. So, Syndra at this stage of the game is 733, 136 farm, which is on the low end, but not a bad KD. Syndra is definitely not what I would consider early game. She's now a scaling mage that you need to get to her stacks. She's on 79 stacks, by the way, so one off getting her 80 Splinters of Wrath benefit, which is making your E better. And then the next one would be the ultimate, where it executes an enemy if they're below 15% health, which is, again, pretty big. Just to remind everybody, a Cho'Gath, without this execute, Syndra on a full, let's say a 6-item Cho'Gath, who is literally Godzilla, probably wouldn't even die to a semi-strong Syndra at 15% health of the ulti. It probably wouldn't kill him. Now, it's 100% going to kill him because that's part of her ulti when she gets 100 stacks. It's guaranteed. executes are very percentage-based executes are incredibly strong. 8 Neon Moon, 8 Dan Yellow. And that obviously is going to give Syndra just a lot more natural strength. And then obviously when you get to 120 stacks, you get ability power increase by 15%. And by the time you have 120 stacks, you really also should have... oh, nice by Syndra. Look, again, the damage is not bad here at all. Just kill the Aatrox, get him out of the way. But by the time you have 120 stacks, the likelihood of you having a death cap is also probably quite high. And then your percentage of AP is so ridiculously high, Syndra is now a champion that will get over 1,000 AP. Someone just said, yeah, so people in Twitch chat just mentioned, what was the Hecarim thing? He just eat over the wall? Yeah, if someone's really close to a wall and you have visioned the other side of the wall, it depends the wall. You know, you can't do it on some of them. But one like this, that's kind of like a little thing like that, you will. Nice kill by Syndra. Like something like here, you won't be able to do it. Something like here you could. I'd say probably here maybe. Here probably. Not here. Here probably. Here probably. So like the thin walls, you probably always can. But it has to be a very specific, like it has to be in range, if you will, of the other side of the wall with vision. So that's why you don't see it very often. Alright, Baron is now being started. Enemy team Rek'Sai has just spawned. Obviously, Kalista, one of the strongest Baron takers in the game, because she has a stronger smite if she gets enough spears in. Don't even know. Yeah, so they kill it. Don't think she got enough spears in at that stage because she was a bit late to it. But nice Baron take by, obviously, the red team. I will say the Leona's not having a great game. She's getting caught quite a bit. You know, it is rare in a way to focus support, but if the support is playing sloppy and they're not positioning very well, then, you know, get the kill, get the number advantage. Dara's Blade just said you apparently can Renekton W over those walls as well. I think there are a few abilities that you can do, yeah. Nice kill by Syndra there. The fade away, knew he was going to die, so not going to go crazy. Really big Cassio ult, very nice there. Again, Syndra, as you can see, her E is widening, so the spread of the balls is wider, so it's more effective in team fights. And now they're going to be moving into the base. So her ulti, by the way, is an execute now. She's got 109 stacks, so it is an execute. Not sure she's going to get to the 120 stacks. Again, it is weirdly quite rare to get to 120 stacks as Syndra, because it does take a while. Doesn't get the stun. And, well, it depends if they can end here. 109 still. So, again, you remember, the only ways that you're going to get stacks on Syndra, there's 3 ways. You hit the same champion with 2 abilities within 4 seconds of each other. The other way is you kill a cannon minion. And then the final way is... Ooh. What's the other way? Spending an ability point. So what is spending an ability point? Leveling up and using, like, leveling up a skill. And they are 2 splinters if you're doing 2 spells on an opponent within 4 seconds. 5 splinters when you level up an ability. And only 1 splinter for killing a cannon minion. But that's still not bad. Enemy team, as you can definitely see, are on the hunt. And they do get the shutdown. Kalista, though, does nice, does get 2 kills herself. Aatrox does a bit of a weird flash, to be honest. And again, Kalista, really, really hard target. The minions! Oh, well played! Kalista is a nightmare for Aatrox, who's a very clunky champion that, you know, you kind of has to stay still. Kalista hopping about is his nightmare, and the enemy team surrender. So 10-4-5 by Syndra. So why I watched this game was like, how would you lane it against a Xerath? So in reality, lane phase didn't go amazing for Syndra. She did good. You know, they killed each other a couple times, both by doing incredible flash plays. But where Syndra started to do well is when the skirmishes happened. You know, that's what she is. She's not a poke mage. She's a skirmish trying to all-in burst, and that's where she can kind of do a lot more. So that's kind of what I was expecting. But the good news is she didn't get incredibly far behind in lane phase. You know, the Xerath was aggressive, but not, well, I'm not going to say not aggressive enough, because I think he was the most you could actually be aggressive on Xerath. But dealt with it quite well, did Magi Felix. So Syndra, new rework. It does seem like it's doing well. It does seem that she's in the mix of mid laners that is in the rotation of like the acceptable strong mids. Especially if you get up to the higher stacks, you know, the 100 plus, and whenever you eventually will get to 120 stacks and then you get a death cap, yeah, that's when her strength really multiplies. But it's rare to see games like that. But anyway, that's gonna be it. If you guys enjoyed, please do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal